Well,
2-0, baby.
2-0.
Sooner Nation riding high right now. Undefeated.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
16-12, Dad.
Whew.
16-12. I've been thinking for most of the week how I'm gonna like talk about this because it's been kind of a weird. It was a weird game all around. Just bad officiating all around on both sides. I'm not saying they were biased against us. Just bad play on defense. You're doing great. It's like that. I know you haven't seen The Boys, but there's a scene where Homelander, he's the Superman kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
He's chewing out the AirSats Justice League for doing a bad job. But he points at Black Noir and he's like, "You're doing a good job, though, buddy." That's basically OU right now. Everyone is doing bad.
Yeah.
Except for the punter and defense.
Yeah.
It was
a tough game.
My confidence level was at like an 8 when this season was starting. It's kind of at like a 5 now, maybe a 4 if I were feeling more pessimistic.
Mm-hmm.
But
Us Sooners fans, we can get pessimistic in a hurry.
You should have seen Sooners Twitter.
Yeah.
Or well, you're on Twitter sometimes, so did you see anything?
I looked a little bit. Of course, I was out of town. That was another thing that threw the game.
Oh yeah,
off.
you were out of town, Dad.
That was probably one of the reasons we had a tough game because I wasn't here to cheer with you.
But man, it was a weird game all around. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, I can say one thing: no pain for the Cougars. They had to come out of that game feeling pretty good, even though they lost the game. And
they came to play. I'll give them that. People were like, "Oh, Houston isn't that good." Hey, they came to play, so I'll give them credit.
They came to play.
Willie
Fritz is a good coach. He coached Tulane last
I know they're a rebuilding team, and I know they're probably gonna struggle, but hey, they came to play. I'm not gonna diss on that.
I'm not gonna try to say Houston's anything else other than what Houston is, which is one of the rated to be one of the lower teams in the Big 12. So just not a good showing at all. It's a tough game. So my question to you now is, what's this season going to look like? Let's go through the games. Remember, we made some predictions a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So based on what we've seen, we got 2 weeks worth of data now, actual data now. So let's just start with this game coming up right now. Is there any way in the world that we can beat Tulane? I mean, they nearly beat K-State this week.
Yeah, and K-State's always scrappy.
Right, and so that's.
I'm hoping I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, we get our act together on offense. Mm-hmm. If we can do that, if we can get some better scheming and just better cohesion, I think we got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Anything that you've seen in the last 2 weeks that makes you think that's going to happen, though? Just 1 week of coaching, that's what's going to get us over the hump?
We might have to fall a little bit before we start getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like I'm kind of fearing this could be 2022 again. Now I don't know if we'll get blanked as hard as we did at Red River, but I can see with how we've been playing, I can see those kind of struggles rearing its ugly head once again.
Well, that year we finished 6-7, right? So
yeah.
We won 6 games. So let's go through here and let's see where we're at. We're at 2-0 now.
Uh-huh.
We got Tulane coming up. You thinking we're going to win this game?
I don't know.
Gut feeling?
I don't know. We have a tough defense. There's a video by a guy I watched called Oni Kuno. I don't know if I said the name right, but he basically summed up a lot of my feelings on the game this week, which was offense was really bad, and defense can only carry us so far before we just fall on our faces.
Yeah.
I try not to predict things, but
this defense. We have not played a couple of juggernaut offenses either. So are they really that good, or have we just played some really crummy teams so far? That's another question. So I'm nervous.
Might be a mixture of both. I don't know, because defense looked solid. I mean, they got a couple of good plays on us, but that was a couple of good plays. That wasn't really they were consistently, I don't know.
Yeah, one little breakdown there when they scored the touchdown. We didn't get the play in on time and made a mistake there, and they scored a touchdown.
I don't think our defense is bad by any means. Our offense, though, I could go into young team, young quarterback. I mean, my God, people injuries, but I have to be a little blunt here for a second.
Go ahead.
It was pretty bad. Just that's the gist of it. It was pretty bad. Now there are people saying Jackson Arnold ain't it, guys. This is his third game. Calm down.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean,
it's like when Rattler was struggling a few years ago, and and that got pretty ugly. So
yeah. And Ewers, the Texas quarterback, his freshman year, he's not near as good as he is today. So I think the future's bright for Jackson. Let's not give up on him just yet.
Could be one of the.
He's a little hesitant right now with the injuries. He's not sure about if his line's going to protect him. There's absolutely no running game. I mean, we're not helping ourselves there. We're in the passing game. We're allowing the defense to kind of play up on us. And
scheming isn't that good either, but maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
Well, we'll talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say somehow, some way, we're beating Tulane this week.
Okay.
So 3-0.
Okay.
Now,
Tennessee.
Coming into the SEC, at home, Tennessee beat Chattanooga 69-3 and then beat a ranked North Carolina State team 51-10. How are you feeling about that one with your boy Heupel coming home?
Well, let's say our boy, because he was an OU player for a while. Oh man, Heupel.
Loss.
I can see us losing. I'll put it that way. I don't know if it'll be I don't know if it'll be Red River 2022 where we just got absolutely demolished and got our asses handed to us. But I could see us losing.
Okay.
We would have to really get our act together if we beat Tennessee. But we'll see. We'll see.
I gave us the edge on Tulane. I'm gonna have to lean Tennessee here. I hate to say it, but there's nothing about the way we're playing that makes me think that we can beat. I mean, Tennessee's going to have a really good defense, better than these two teams we played.
Yeah,
we couldn't move the ball on these two teams, and then Tennessee comes in. I'm scared. So maybe not a Red River 49-0 blowout, but
like TCU that season where we just weren't playing too great and. They were just the better team. It wasn't really anything we were doing.
I'm going to say that's where we're at with this.
Also just bad luck there.
Yeah. So 3-1, and then at Auburn. Now Auburn lost to Cal.
I can see us beating Auburn if we play our cards.
Beat Alabama A&M 73-3. I'm not sure who that is, but Auburn doesn't seem as daunting. But it's at Auburn.
Hey, California beat him at Auburn, so
okay,
I mean,
that's true. That is true.
Again, it's one of those. If we play our cards right, I can see us winning.
I hear
and also, if we lose to Tennessee in a bad way, I think that'll kind of, because OU's one of those teams I've noticed. Like, we'll get smacked in the mouth, but we'll get right back up. We're like Rocky.
Yep, that's what we are.
He'll get beaten up, but he'll keep coming. There's that another movie reference is that line in Casino. He's like. If he couldn't stop you with his fist, come up with a bat, he'd come back with a knife, but he'd just keep coming. He's talking about Joe Pesci's character.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and
I'll say we win.
I'm going to go with you. I hear the optimism in your voice, so I'm going to say we're 4-1, and we're like, hey, this might happen here. Texas in the Cotton Bowl lost, right?
I try not to predict Texas because. There are some games I thought we would win, and we completely screwed it. There were times I'm like, I think we're screwed. We're going to lose this game, and we won. Like I remember 2021. I thought Texas had our number, and then somehow I guess Lincoln Riley got a piece of that Saban black magic, and we won that game. So I don't know.
I'm putting it under a rivalry game. Anything can happen.
I'm putting it under the I don't know.
I went to a game when I think OU was maybe 0-5 in the John Blake era, and we came up and we beat them. Yeah, we beat them. And a guy stuck his middle finger right in my face, a Texas fan, at the end of the game as we were walking out.
I remember that story.
So, not one of my prouder moments, but anything can happen there. But they did beat
Wait,
Michigan.
but the guy did it to you. What did you do?
I started laughing in his face.
Oh. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
0-6 and we won. Texas beat Michigan badly this week. Not the same Michigan team as last year.
Yeah, I was about to say, to the shock of no one. I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, and then that's propelled yours into the favorite for the Heisman this year.
We'll see.
It's still early. Okay, I'm just, anything can happen. Right now, I'd have to say we're going to lose the game. Just, early on predictions here. So, 4-2?
I don't know.
And then we've got South Carolina coming to town.
I can see us winning that one.
They beat Old Dominion 23-19, not too impressive. But then they go in and smack Kentucky, which has been pretty good, 31-6. So
I can see us winning.
A little nervous there.
If we play our cards right, I see us winning. I'm not too nervous.
I'll go with you. And so we're 5-2 now. Ole Miss at Ole Miss. They've dominated Middle Tennessee. Don't know who that is. Dominated Furman, but they are looking solid at Ole Miss.
I can see us losing that game.
Okay,
Again,
let's go 5-3.
Okay.
Just kind of be pragmatic here. Then Maine, if we pencil that one in.
I was about to say, if we lose that, I'm just going to stop watching OU football this season. I'm kidding. But, because, Dad didn't raise me to be a fair weather fan after all. But yeah, if we lose that, I would be just put a bag over my head for a week.
You'd be the old Saints that had the bag over their head that couldn't even be seen in public. Okay, so we're 6-3. We're going to a bowl, so that's good news.
Okay,
right? Next up, Missouri dominated Buffalo, dominated Murray State. They haven't even given up a point this year. 2 shutouts.
Those are
at Missouri?
I don't know. That's another one. I think if we play our cards right, we could win, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope
we're gonna have to see.
Hope there's some injuries there on the Missouri quarterback.
And hopefully, again, we get our act together and we
could be
and get our scheming back on track.
Bob Stoops was known for the team got better each week. I hope Venables has that into him to where each week we're getting better. Okay, here we come, we're better. And then we can win some games.
Yeah,
Missouri could be one of them.
It's looking like right now this is kind of a rebuilding season in some ways. Defense looks good, but the offense, bit inexperienced, still figuring things out.
Okay.
We'll see.
We're 6-3. We're gonna go. Oh, it is Missouri, but they are very good this year. Gosh, I'm really up in the air on this one.
Yeah, Missouri's really come back.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good. So I'm gonna say.
Either or.
I don't feel good about it right now, Brett. 6-4.
Jeez, Dad.
6-4. Then we got Alabama at home, uplifting.
Now, Alabama is not invincible,
That's true.
as we've seen.
That's true.
Now, while they've shown, they did show last week that they were struggling. Now, they did come back.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were like us. But again, if we play our cards right, I think we can beat them. They don't have Darth Saban, so
that's true.
I feel a little less nervous about that.
Now, they beat Western Kentucky 63-0, which that's not a surprise. And then South Florida is typically a
decent team.
They're a decent team. They ended up winning 42-16. It was 10-10 at half after 3 quarters.
They finally got their act together.
South Florida was up 13-10 at the start of the 4th quarter, and then Alabama goes on a 28-3 run there to finish off the game 42-16. So, like you said, not invincible. Right now, I'm leaning towards we'll probably lose the game.
I'm hoping that you underestimating them causes us to win.
I hope you're right.
And then I can rub it in your face how wrong you were.
That sounds fine. And then we're 6-5 there, and then at LSU in the Death Valley. LSU has been underwhelming this year, but it's still early.
That's true.
It's still early.
I think, from the looks of it, USC was the better team, so we'll see. Again, it's one of those cases, not invincible, so I'm not shaking in my boots as I am with like Ole Miss, because Ole Miss actually looks like a threat. Now, not saying LSU isn't a threat, because I always try to say, don't underestimate your opponents.
Right, and it's at LSU.
And it's at LSU
Philly, at night.
And they're a pretty nasty crowd sometimes.
And the last game of the season, so who knows where they're at the end. They lost to SC 27-20 in a great game, and then they beat Nichols this week 44-21. Didn't look great in doing that, but it is early. They've got a new quarterback as well. Daniels off to the pros, and so they might get their act together as well. So
could be a good one.
We'll see how it goes. So 7-5. I
was about to say OU's
6-6.
OU's a fighting team.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we lose, we're still gonna claw for it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's Red River 2022, where we were just completely outmatched the whole time.
Yeah, I hate that we're this bad on offense. Because Stutzman came back, Billy Bowman. They could have gone to the pros. Billy Bowman came back,
but they didn't want to screw over Jackson, so they wanted to
go 6-6. I mean, they could have gone 6-6 with the guys behind them. I suspect. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's discuss this OU Houston game a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So, overall thoughts on the game?
Just a massive disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
yeah.
Look, I knew we were kind of struggling a little bit, but I'm like, okay, it's the first game. There's some jitters.
Right.
Newer team. Understandable.
Right.
This is a rebuilding Houston team. You would think this isn't rocket science,
right.
But I don't know if it's just we underestimated them or the play calling was bad. Mm-hmm. Probably, my guess is a mixture of both. I have no clue. It was just a weird game. There were some weird calls, and I'm not just saying on our side because that pick that got called as a pass interference was stupid, but also that muffed punt.
Yeah,
that was a dumb call, I thought, and that was in our favor.
Right? Yeah, that won us the game. Let's be honest, because we don't get that touchdown. We only scored 9 points. We only had one other drive where we scored, and then we got the safety. So if we don't get that touchdown, do we lose? I mean, we could have lost that game.
But
now let me ask you this: were you scared that we were going to lose, or did you feel like we had it the whole time? We kind of just were ahead, we've got it, or were you just like, oh my gosh, something bad's going to happen, and we're going to lose this stupid game?
I don't know. I was nervous there for a minute. So
I was telling Mike, go ahead.
Also, OU Twitter, I was just.
You were following that?
Yeah, that wouldn't help. That was not a good idea. Don't do that. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that, kids.
I was telling Mike during the game, something weird can happen. Fumble, and they pick it up and run it in. Something crazy, punt return.
Now, I will say, well, I guess I shouldn't say, because they had 2 picks during the... I would say they were pretty good at protecting the ball for the most part. It's just the play calling was bad. It was just bad in general. Play calling wasn't great. Made Levy look like a genius.
Right, yeah, I was kind of...
And people were going, and people were saying, there were a couple people who were saying, I miss Jeff Levy, I miss Lincoln Riley. Jeff Levy got smoked this week.
True.
By Arizona State, so don't say that just yet.
Yeah. Now, I found myself fondly remembering Levy during the course of the game, so...
This is the guy's 3rd game, to be fair. But it's just the offense was just. I was just like, we got that pick, and I'm like, oh man, just get a touchdown, guys.
Right.
Get a touchdown, and we got it. They couldn't even do that. I was like, what are you doing? I flipped the chair. I was so mad.
And then missed the field goal.
But that was just the universe conspiring against us at that point. That wasn't even just bad.
So what irritated you the most about the game? Just the overall offense, or was it the weird calls?
I was all of it. Weird calls. Offense just looked bad. Again, I have no clue what happened. If just we didn't prepare, we underestimated them. Bad play calling. My personal theory is a mixture of the 3.
And with this direct TV embargo of ABC and ESPN, I couldn't find the game anywhere down there. I finally find the game in one place. We go there. I guess it's on the SEC network, and they're streaming it. So all game, the little buffering circle was just taunting me. So I had the phone hung to my ear like an idiot. Everybody's like, "What's wrong with this guy?"
Were you waxing nostalgic about the 70s? Because you heard the radio back in the day,
Well,
didn't you?
I was waxing nostalgic about that, but I was waxing wishing we had Levy back, which is not a feeling I like. So
I was more like, oh man, I kind of missed Lincoln's, high powered offense.
Oh yeah.
Like, bro, Dad, if we had that Lincoln Riley high powered offense and that Brent Venables defense, we would be unstoppable.
I agree 100%. So
we would be ruling the world right now.
Was there anything in the game that you liked? That you thought, well, hey, I mean, the defense.
The defense was they really they saved us from absolutely looking like a laughing stock.
What about the Toby Keith tribute?
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Though I was never really I'm not a big fan of that.
He's from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's a fan, so I respect that. He's a big OU fan, but
Big Bob Stoops' friend.
Yeah. I'm not really a big fan of the America trucks and beer type of country. Sorry, Toby Keith fans, but he was a fan, so I respect that.
Yeah,
he was a diehard.
All right, so let's jump into the different aspects of the game. We're going to save the defense to the last because I like the last. I like the dessert.
What were your problems with the offense, Dad?
Well, is it the line? Is it the quarterback? Is it the running game? Is it the wide receivers? Is it Seth Luttrell, the offensive coordinator? That's the problem I have.
Did you hear about his press conference where he was like, "Oh yeah, we could have done better"? I'm like, "Oh, you think? Really?
Yeah.
Really, Luttrell?"
They start out both of the last two games with the play I hate the most, the jet sweep.
I hate it too. Just stop with the jet sweeps. I was getting unpleasant flashbacks to Jeff Lebby with that. I'm like, guys, it doesn't work. Just
it's
stop.
like the Cougars knew it was coming too. -6 on the very first play of the game. I'm like, and we 3 and out the very first series. We punt it. Luckily, we get the call that you're talking about, and
which I didn't like that call personally, but I'm like, hey, gave us points. Yeah. I'm fine with it.
I'm just not sure about the Seth Luttrell hire. I know it's only his third game, I guess, in, and
he did solidly during the Alamo Bowl, but we'll see what happens.
They were running the Levy offense, I think. So, but anyway,
it was like that Levy offense, but I'll give Levy some credit. Mm-hmm. We give him a hard time, but the guy could at least call a good game when he felt like it. Like OU Texas last year.
Great game.
That was just a well called game for the most part.
Yeah, that was.
I had very little complaints.
Yeah. Well, when you win,
you can watch our video talking about it.
I feel like the Seth Luttrell hire. We just hired within. Instead of going out and searching for the greatest offensive mind. We are Oklahoma. We can draw people in. We go and just promote Luttrell. So he better get it together because the fans are going to be. If we don't fire him, the fans might just go pick him up and toss him over the Red River. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah,
so
no, it's.
I'm not sure about him. So some of the stats, real quick: Jackson Arnold, 19 for 32, 174 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. That was a poor play. When you do a slant pattern like that, Burks kind of cut it up the field, and Jackson's throwing it to a spot out wide. So I'm not sure that was Jackson's fault altogether. Although it doesn't.
A lot of people were blaming Jackson. I'm like, guys, I don't think this is Jackson's fault.
Well,
just the play calling.
He's
is
a little
bad.
hesitant, like he's not trusting the offense, and maybe it's because the receivers that he practiced with most of the year.
Well,
Nick Anderson, Gibson, Farouk, all of those guys are out. So the timing of these routes.
But I kind of blame that on he's still new. So sure he practiced for. Well, I assume he practiced during. So I think a lot of it is still him figuring out what works, but
rushing game,
just not a good game for him.
Barnes 12 for 40. That's three yards a carry. Arnold 11 for 28. Tatum
Burks though.
Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tatum 1 for 6 yards, and Sawchucks, who's supposed to be our starter, 4 rushes for 4 yards, 75 total yards. That's not winning football. We're not going to win football games that way. So, Burks in the receiving corps, 9 for 53. But you can't always just throw it to him. It's like we threw it to Stoops all year last year. Every time.
I know, but he had some moments. I'm just saying. Yeah. He had some moments where he was.
9 for 53, not bad. And Jake Roberts, the backup tight end, second tight end.
He's actually pretty good. I don't know what happened.
Norman North, 3 catches, 51, 2 big plays.
I don't know what happened with Bauer Sharp. I guess he's off doing his thing.
I think he was in there a lot of the game, and he had a chance to make a big first down. He got caught, kind of jumped in the air, spun around, and dropped the ball. They called it an incomplete pass, but that would have been spectacular. Might have been a spark for us. But Jake Roberts out of Norman North had a TD, and then when we needed that first down, and they ran the same play as the touchdown, the little tight end release, Jackson throws it to him, and he has to swing all the way around and catch it to keep the drive going there in the fourth quarter when we're trying to win the game. That was an amazing play, so congratulations to him. But that's it for the offense. And
then the center gets all angry.
I forgot about this.
Which, look, okay, fine. You get a little heated during the game. I get that. But the dude starts throwing down. I'm like, you just have to down it, and it'll be over. No again.
Discipline.
I have to quote Oni Kuna again. It was like we were begging them to take the game from us.
That's true.
I was just.
It's what Venable set up to the game. They should have won. The other team should have won. So
I gotta respect Venables. He's a straight shooter.
Yeah, he's a straight shooter. I wish he was a good coach. I hope he's a good coach. So.
Well, last year he did pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. We did pretty good last year. Special teams, were they special? 2 fumbles on punts. What's Billy Bowman doing there? Senior bouncing around, letting it bounce off of him, falling down.
We were just jittery the whole game.
Bowen gets one, hits his face mask. We could have lost both of those. We did recover that, that play that you're talking about, and that was the TD that basically won the game. But then we get the interception, and we missed the field goal.
That kicker was good last week.
I know, and this week when we needed him, when we were up 51-3, you're good. You're just easy, no pressure. But that's what kickers, that gets in their head, the pressure. Oh, we might lose. I got to make this. And I missed it. So I'm still not sold on Keltner. He did good last week. I hope he bounces back from that. So anyway, let's get to. Go ahead.
It just seemed like a mixture of bad luck, bad play calling, and just a lack of cohesion on our guys' part.
Lack of intensity.
I am sincerely hoping this was a fluke.
I'm hoping it's a fluke too.
We'll see.
We better come play this week. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
Tulane's not playing around.
Yeah.
They know they almost beat us a few years back, so
they're not playing.
They're not playing around. So
aren't they in the Big 12 now?
No, don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I think they're in the same league that the Temple Owls are in, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won that league.
If you don't mind me going on a little non sequitur real quick. I actually got a comment on our last video from a particular guy.
Okay.
Let me find it real quick.
We like your feedback, fans.
I do.
Give us the feedback.
We do love the feedback. We're getting more feedback now. Maybe it's because we're getting our pretty faces or something. I don't know. But it's from Jonas Grumby. So thank you, Jonas Grumby,
Thanks,
for your comment. He said, last year, Temple beat Navy. Navy beat North Texas. North Texas beat Tulsa. Tulsa beat Northern Illinois, which I guess we'll get to them later on in the video. Northern Illinois beat Boston College. Boston College beat Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech beat Miami, who is currently ranked number 12 in AP, 3 spots above OU. My facts don't care about your feelings. Beware the Owls. I saw that at first, and I'm like, what? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But then I realized, like, he's probably just screwing around. So, anyway, I had me either that or that's some really insane logic.
I really appreciate the time he put into that.
That's what I was going to say, too. Yeah. But thank you for the comment.
Yeah,
I had me a good laugh.
All right, how about the defense? So
defense saved us. I'm just going to say it right now.
Their quarterback was 24 for 28 for 260 yards.
Like I said,
they were throwing those little passes and kept us off of, kind of our rush wasn't able to get there.
I think, you're always talking about, people are always talking about, what's it called? Complementary football.
Yes.
You know how in the Lincoln years we were always complaining that the offense would really get cooking and the defense just couldn't do anything?
Right.
Right here. I think the defense I mean, they saved us.
Right.
But I think they were really off sync because the offense was off sync.
Yeah, possible.
So
I don't think it was our best game defensively. We did hold them to 58 yards rushing on 35 carries. Stutzman, 15 tackles. He was lighting some folks up, right?
yeah.
You see some good hard tackles he laid on some people.
He did get stiff-armed once, but he was going for it.
And then Halton with the game-saving safety, really, right? That big, he blasted through there and gets the safety. I thought they were going to call that back. And then again, the big interception by Robert Spears-Jennings, but we didn't get any points off of it. So,
Which was frustrating.
yeah. So all in all, a pretty good defensive showing against a probably not so good offense. So, now what were your thoughts on those throwback uniforms we had?
It's a curse. I'm telling you
I
right
hate
now.
those uniforms.
I mean, I don't hate them, but I have always noticed since I was younger, when we get those flashback uniforms, we always do badly.
I know.
You remember when we played like Texas Tech like 10 years ago?
Sure do.
Got smoked.
Right, in those crummy other, whatever they call
Those
them,
flashback
uniforms.
uniforms. So stop with the. I'm like, I remember I saw it. That's why I was a little nervous before this game started. And I was like, it's probably just pre-game jitters. I get them all the time. You know, I'm an anxious little thing.
Yeah. What did you think about the tight white coach's University of Oklahoma football Bud Wilkinson style T-shirt?
I mean, that was nice, but, you know, Wilkinson, that was before my time. But anyway.
So your comment is we should never, ever, ever wear those uniforms again. Just stick with what we win in, which is our normal uniforms, right? Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Okay, and I heard they burned those jerseys after the game. So
Jeez, I don't know if it was that bad.
I'm not sure that that's true, but we are 2-0, right?
I don't feel like it, but yes, we are.
All right, yeah. Again, so upcoming this week, Tulane, they beat Southeast Louisiana. I think I've already mentioned that. Lost to Kansas State. They've got a good quarterback. He's a dual threat. I think he's a freshman this year as well. And they got Mario Williams, the old wide receiver
That backstabbing jerk.
Right, that
I
went
can't.
to USC.
I'm trying not to curse so much. So,
but he is a player.
I'm just kidding.
And I think they've got some good skill players, and then they're probably going to have a better defense than we've seen in these past two games. So it's a little scary.
Like I said, hoping we get our act together.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens.
Okay. Can we win?
Yes.
Okay.
If we play our cards right, we can win.
Okay. All right. We're going to leave it there. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So some games for this week. Not a big slate.
I was about to say we're not going to talk about the games that happened this last week, or is that for later on?
Well, let's talk about the game you mentioned, the Notre Dame versus Northern Illinois game.
They got shocked. Notre Dame lost.
Yeah.
I was shocked because I'm like, hey, Notre Dame, you know, they're a very legendary team.
True.
Kind of like us, you know, very very prideful team. We got a big history behind us, you know. They lose.
Yeah.
Their coach, the Northern Illinois coach, he almost seemed like he couldn't believe it. He was crying his eyes out in that post-game interview. Which, you know what? That's fair. I'd probably be crying too if I beat a really big team with my, you know, scrappy team of underdogs. It was their Michigan Appalachian State game, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just they go up against a team, not really expecting much, and just get shocked by them. You know.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Arkansas and OSU played.
Forgot about that one.
That was a great game.
Yeah, Arkansas had them. Arkansas.
Though of course Arkansas and
right.
just completely just fumbled on themselves.
They had like 650 yards to 350.
They were cursed.
Yeah.
That's just it at this point. They're cursed.
Yeah, and then obviously we talked about Texas beating Michigan on a blowout.
That didn't shock me at all.
Yeah, K-State and Tulane we've already kind of mentioned. Let's see if there's any other games. Nebraska looks
dominates Colorado.
Is the big red machine back?
Well, I mean,
they got Matt Rule.
Dion's been kind of disappointing as a coach for Colorado,
All flash.
But Nebraska, they're actually looking pretty good. It looks like after last season, it was kind of like us in 2022. We were kind of in season that was disappointing. Though, Nebraska's been in a drought for a little bit, so.
Kind of rooting for Nebraska this year. I'm tired of them not being relevant, right? I mean, they're part
Matt
of our
Rule,
history.
he seems like he's working his magic.
These kids these days are like, Nebraska? They're horrible. They don't remember Tom Osborne and the Big Red Machine.
And the big rivalry we had with them.
Game of the century in 71. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
But
and then Iowa State kicks like a 55-yard field goal in the last 6 seconds of the game to beat Iowa 20-19 in a snoozer. I didn't see the game.
It's a rivalry game, man.
Yeah. See if anything else sticks out here.
Alabama struggled.
Alabama struggled, but ended
they
up
came
winning.
back.
Yeah, Nebraska 28-10 over Colorado. Oregon with a close one against Boise State, 37-34. It's not all rosy out there for Dylan Gabriel. Although we kind of ran him off. It's not like he left us. We kind of said, "Hey, Jackson's starting next year. You need to go on down the road."
Yeah.
They thought we were going to go pro, but he ended up going ahead and going and coming back for one more year.
Yeah, but you were talking about the games for next week. So what we got?
Okay, next week, I don't even know why I add this. Maybe because we're in Oklahoma, but Oklahoma State versus Tulsa.
I'm saying OSU's
got it. OSU, Missouri, Boston College. Boston College is rated, and I believe they beat. Who did they beat? Oh, they beat Florida State that first game. Missouri. I'd say
Mizzou has it, but Boston College is solid. I don't know if they can beat Mizzou. Mizzou's kind of on that. Kind of where we were at last year, that team with a chip on its shoulder. We're kind of mad that people are underestimating us. We want to punch some mouths. Even though, again, I was a little disappointed by the end because, it was one of those seasons. I'm like, I thought we were actually going to do something, Dad, and then we kind of slipped and fell that at the end of the season. Yep. But I digress.
Kansas State versus Arizona. You know who has the longest winning streak in the country now?
Please don't tell me.
Since Michigan lost.
Please don't tell me it's K-State.
No.
No? Who is it?
It's Arizona.
What?
And we're part of that. I think they've won 6 in a row, 6 or 8 in a row. So you think that's going to last for 47 games? You worried about that one?
No.
Not really?
I mean, when I think of, oh man, that's a juggernaut, I don't think Arizona. But that's true. Hey, you never
47,
know.
4 years in a row.
Yeah,
no, it's not happening. And that's something we're really proud of here in the state of Oklahoma. We got the record, 47-0. 47-0.
You remember me last year. I was a little nervous. Georgia was going to creep up on them.
And they're whatever on that other little record.
Darth Saban.
He saved us.
He saved us.
And then LSU versus South Carolina. I mean, LSU on paper is supposedly the better team, but South Carolina seems a little hotter. You think South Carolina can pull that one off?
I'd say LSU has it, but hey, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. We'll keep that one up in the air. And then a weird game in the middle, early part of the season, Oregon versus Oregon State. Oregon went up to the Big Ten. Oregon State was left without a conference.
Yeah, didn't Pac-12 just disband?
They just disbanded. So that's a little early. You think Oregon's got that one?
I would say yes.
Okay.
But again, it's a rivalry, so you never know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay. We're kind of stressed on time here tonight, but let's quickly go through last week's NFL. So your Cowboys get their first win versus the Browns.
Oh man, you think I hate Sooners Twitter, but Cowboys Twitter might be even worse because oh my gosh, it was like the first couple minutes people are like, oh, the Cowboys are frauds, and it was like 3-0. The Browns were up 3-0. I shook my head.
Cowboys won convincingly. Looked better than I thought they would look. Dak got the big contract, highest paid player in the NFL. You think he's worth highest paid in the NFL? Dak Prescott? It's not for you to say.
It's not for me to say.
Let the man make his money. Okay.
But they beat the Browns, which I know. Wow, the Browns! What a ferocious team.
Yeah,
they won.
San Francisco last week beat the Jets with Aaron Rodgers back. I'm happy to report that he is made it through the first game.
Didn't get hurt after the first couple plays.
San Francisco, I think I said this early last year, San Fran, they're going to be there again unless something terrible happens. I think they're there. They look tough.
They're just cursed against
the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, because I thought, because I'm telling you, the 49ers were the better team this last year.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Mahomes, man, that guy's an animal. He's, I mean, I say that in a good way. But that dude's an animal. Dude's like Tom Brady of our generation.
Yeah, that's
at least
true.
of the new generation.
Speaking of the Chiefs, they beat the Ravens last Thursday, and by an inch, the guy's toe landed.
Did you see
that play?
Yeah, I did. I was like, what? You can ask Mom. She was about to go to sleep. I was like, what? He was in. But I guess they counted it. His toe was kind of on the.
Yeah.
That was. What a great game, just undone by a weird call.
And another one I did not hate seeing was Caleb Williams struggling in his first NFL game. They got the win. Bears get the win, but 99 yards passing for his inaugural NFL game. So
he's young. We'll see what happens.
You can't just stand around and run around like he did in the college. You know, he was a better athlete than all those college kids. Now there's some real men playing.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah.
We'll see how he does. Then the Eagles won over the Pack. And
that was a good game, too.
Yeah. Jordan Love injures his knee, and I don't know if he's out for the year, but he's out for several weeks. So I hate to see that. He just got a big contract.
And he was actually looking pretty good.
Yeah.
He was like the underdog story there for a little bit.
Yeah. Patriots beat the Bengals 16-10. A little bit of a surprise there. I would have thought the Bengals would have won that one.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for the Bengals. You know, they're a scrappy little team.
Mm-hmm.
Though Mixon left, I hear.
Yeah, and then next game up, Texans beat the Colts, and Joe Mixon had 159, 160 yards, something like that.
C.J. Stroud, man. I guess he's the future over there. He's pretty good.
Yeah. Lions beat the Rams in a tough game. And then Goff is still the quarterback. I don't know what I was talking about last week when I said that Goff wasn't the quarterback anymore and somebody had beat him out. I messed that thing totally up. I thought it was the old Tennessee quarterback, but I totally messed that up. And then Baker won 37-20.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people praising him on Twitter, being like, wow, this is probably his best game in a while. So, I mean...
Against the Commanders, the Commoders,
I was watching
the Redskins. Go ahead.
I was watching some of my BookTube friends talking about football. Well, some of them were friends of mine. And they mentioned that even they were like, Commanders is a stupid name.
The Presidentials, something, you know. The DC, I don't know.
Dan Snyder.
Commanders.
Even when he's gone, he's still screwing over the Washington football team.
Yeah. And then this week in the NFL, I didn't see any big-time games. We got Bills-Dolphins on Thursday. That's an old AFC matchup.
Yeah, Bills are... people are thinking they're on their last legs. And, hey, Tua was looking pretty good last week.
300-plus yards. And then did you see Tyreek Hill get arrested there?
Oh, my God, yes. Let's not talk about that. We're not a political show.
What is Tyreek thinking? Just get out and give him your license. But what are the cops thinking? Slap you on the ground right in front of the Dolphin Stadium? I mean, come on. He's going to the game. Give the boy a ticket and go on. Right?
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about the socio-economic of cops and black people.
That's for other things. So Cowboys versus Saints this week. We got that one?
Yeah, I say Cowboys got it.
I think so.
I mean, the Saints, they're a scrappy team. I think Rattler's on the Saints. I could be wrong.
I don't know that.
You don't know that?
I haven't been paying attention to Rattler, so I'm not sure.
I say the Cowboys win.
Okay, Cowboys win. I like that. Buccaneers, Lions. Baker versus the tough Lions.
Let's see.
Not sure where that's at.
Yeah, no, I don't know how that's going to go down. I mean, Buccaneers are kind of in that, they're building again, They had that fluke Super Bowl run, when they got Tom Brady and Antonio Brown. Glad he's gone from the NFL, to be honest with you. But anyway, and he won a Super Bowl ring, which I was kind of irritated by. But then Mike Evans also won a Super Bowl, which made me feel a lot better.
Evened it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big Mike Evans fan, if you didn't know.
I'm going
Baker. Even though he beat us about 10 years ago, I'm a little salty about that. I do like Mike Evans. He's a great player.
Yeah. He played for, when he beat us, Texas Tech?
A&M.
Oh, A&M. That's right.
He was with Johnny Football.
That's right.
That was Johnny Football's big run.
That's right. I'm going to lean towards Baker on this one. I think the Lions probably win, but I can't go against Baker. It's not my blood. I can't go against Baker. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Chiefs, Bengals. Can Bengals bounce back against the Chiefs after losing A
I don't
heartbreaker
know.
to the Pats.
Gee,
You gotta lean
I'm
Pats.
going for Mahomes.
Okay. And then the Bears taking on a Texans team. The Texans look good this week. Stroud, like you mentioned.
They're scrappy.
Mixon.
They're on that like Bengals from a few years ago when they got to the Super Bowl. Scrappy up and comer who was like, they're coming.
I think I'd like to see Williams get his comeuppance. I think he's going to be a good quarterback eventually, but I'd like to. Troy Aikman was 1-15 his first year in the NFL.
Oh yeah, was he? That's
Yeah.
right.
I wouldn't mind seeing Caleb somewhere near that. So
Oh yeah, and I
humble him a bit, then let him come on and be the player that he can be. So.
I was kind of dreading him going to the Bears because I don't know if any player should be unfortunate enough to go to the Bears because, good Lord, they are a train wreck.
What about Baker having to go to the Browns? How do you think I felt when that
Well,
happened?
yeah, but they actually were kind of good when he was over there.
Yeah,
they
when
just,
Baker got there, they were good.
Yeah, no, it's just Browns are based. I don't know if Arkansas is the Browns of college football or if the Browns are the Arkansas of NFL, but they're just cursed.
Pretty fair analogy there. Pretty fair analogy.
They're just cursed.
They may be synonymous. I think you may be correct there. So
Sorry, cousin Matt, if you
Yeah.
watch this, he's probably gonna be like, "We're nothing like the Browns."
yeah, he's not watching this. So.
Hey, he gave us a comment on our first episode.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he said, "Welcome to the SEC."
Oh yeah, that's not a good comment.
Um.
All right, so on to week 3. So
Oh hell, I didn't even say it. It's been an episode,
oh,
but anyway.
well,
But what were you saying? You finish your thought.
well,
and
it's
then-
just on to week 3. I'm happy to be into the football season, and
kind of worried on where we're going to go. I'm kind of nervous we're going to have a frustratingly inconsistent season like 2022.
I think this season is the reason you named our show.
Days of Our Suitors, the never-ending. This is why I say it's the never-ending soap opera that is Oklahoma Sooners football.
That's right.
Because it literally is a soap opera.
That's right.
At this point.
That's right.
This season is going to be a soap opera.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Hopefully we can be a little more upbeat next week, fans. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments. Go visit
we
Britt
like
on
the
Goodreads. And where else are you at? Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
I have the social media.
Yeah.
You should probably jump in on the social media, but I won't pressure you.
Okay. Nah, I'm not into social media. I'm gonna let all the fame go to you.
You'll hear all the hot OU takes from me.
I'll keep it there. Yeah. So I can't get involved in social media. So.
Anyway,
Anyway, it's been a pleasure, and hopefully next week we're going to be a little more upbeat. It's all turned around. We're back to winning the national championship, folks.
yeah, I don't know if we're going to the national championship.
We're back to winning the national championship, folks. We beat Tulane. See you next week.
Until next time, yes.
All right.
Oh man.